Hello, yes, Wilbur Fingers doing all of that. Say hello to the Space Giraffe, my co-host. She keeps me company while I poop, and I have difficulty pooping alone, you see. It's a frightening experience, but not for the reasons you're thinking. No, I I have this fear, you see. I am afeared that. Do you like my nails? Aren't they delightful? Yes, woo! I chipped every one of them today at work. Yes, woo! Both hands, woo! I'm sorry, honey. This is why I can't own nice things. I have a fear, you see, that someone is well, they're not I'm watching a wrestling pay-per-view, is why you see. It's not so much a fear of someone lurking with nefarious purposes, and because they might not be lurking. Maybe they're just casually standing, but regardless of your posture, you could still have nefarious purposes, you see, and so I am afraid of people with nefarious purposes, so I like to make sure they're not behind my shower curtain before I poop, you see, and then while I am pooping the Space Giraffe, she makes sure that nobody sneaks in unawares while I am busy on the Twitter, you see. And I well, you see, I came up with this idea once where I was like, well, there will always be the potential that somebody will be lurking behind my shower curtain with nefarious purposes. That, perhaps I might open it one day to see some fellow just reading the newspaper, and he's, oh, don't mind me, I'm waiting for the bus. There's an article about Eskimos. I always figured if I had a bouffant, it would be a bulbous bouffant. I like to eat macadamias in a gazebo. So what would I do if it was just some fellow waiting for the bus? I don't have enough money to have a say in transit routes. Maybe they put I don't know. Maybe I'm a transition point. I'm a connecting line. I don't know. My shower is a very popular place after all. But if it is somebody with nefarious purposes, you see, I am prepared to deal with that person, you see. I can't. I am a clever bitch, yes I am. I came up with this plan, you see. I bought a gun. And I keep it conveniently in a holster on the side of my vanity beside my toilet where I poop. And in the event that while I am in here, somebody should swing the curtain open and go, I am a person who will hurt you, then I will just grab the gun, you see, and promptly shoot myself. There is no greater pain to a murderer than being denied a murder, you see. So I would take that away from them. I would deny them the right to end my life. How can you fornicate with a corpse you did not create? Moment. Whenever I drink carbonated lake water, I insist it have a yellow lid. Label out. Katy Perry stopped making my favorite perfume. It's the same thing Lady Gaga did to me. Why are celebrities always letting me down? That's what I want to know. Look, an obvious distraction. I mean, if Kobe Bryant could stop a civil war, surely Katy Perry could make me a bloody perfume. What were we talking about? Oh yes, I went to a garage sale the other day, you see. And normally I don't go to because I don't like garage sales, but not for the reasons you're thinking. No, it's more of a, well, it's a cosmic, quasi-eldritch reason, yes, eldritch reason. Well, you Google that word, pay no attention to what I'm doing. Yes, I had a negative experience at a garage sale, you see, with an eldritch horror of sorts. I bought, you see, I purchased at a very reasonable price what I assumed was a deck of playing cards, and then I got home and I was playing crib and I scored 15-6, you see, which is a very impressive score if you've ever played cribbage. And I scored 15-6, you see, and everybody in my family whose middle name started with a vowel died. I would later learn that they were tarot cards, but not after a particularly intense game of poker where I had a royal flush and consequently an earthquake wiped out most of Eastern Asia. That's when I realized, oh my goodness, these are not playing cards. These are tarot cards, and I should probably stop what I'm doing using. And that is why I don't like garage sales. But I went to this one because I was like, hey, yeah, it's the middle of a pandemic. Let's go put our disease-riddled hands on other people's possessions. Yes, it's a lovely way to celebrate it, isn't it? Yes. So I'm perusing the tables, you see, and I was like, these are nice tables. Perhaps I should buy one of these. And then it occurred to me that if I bought the table, they'd have nothing to put the wares on, so they're probably not going to sell me the table without first selling me the wares, and that's a lot of boxes to carry. So, apologies, I have a frog in my throat, label out. He's not feeling very froggy there. I don't think he's going to jump. No, he's quite comfy. He's a homebody, this frog in my throat, you see. And so as I'm perusing the wares of this peasant salesperson, I happen to notice them glancing at me, and a moment of panic. Anybody who has social anxiety will know what I mean. When you are in a store looking at things and people acknowledge you, you automatically feel a sense of, fuck, I need to buy something. So I had this moment where this person is looking at me, and I'm like, oh. So I grabbed the first thing I see, I hold it in my hand, and I'm like, well, what do we have here, I wonder? It appeared to be some sort of glass cylinder. It's a flower vase or a very fancy cup, I don't know. And I looked at, and I turned it in my hands, you see, because as I have previously mentioned, I had an experience with an eldritch-like horror at a previous garage sale. So I wanted to, it looked like a clear glass cylinder on this side and from the top, you see, but the thing with cyclopean architecture is I could have very well turned it around and it would have been a cube. And I wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. So I did that and sure enough, it appeared to be cylindrical all the way round. And it had a base. It was not infinite in its ability to carry it. It was a limited portion cup if you were to use it for such things. Your stems could only be so long in your flowers if you used it for that. I honestly don't know what else you would use it for. I didn't even know what I was going to use it for, but after I had verified, you see, that it was in fact a cylinder, the person was still looking at me. Apparently I was the only one to stop at the garage sale all day, and I started to. I had that moment, you see, where you pretend to think. Yes. You see, if this cigarette were the cylindrical object, I pretended to think about locations in my house where I could put it, that perhaps this cylinder would look good on my coffee table, you see, things of that sort. Maybe on the vanity in the bathroom to help camouflage the gun, maybe. And then I realized, well, I don't own a coffee table, so clearly it cannot go on the coffee table. And well, I mean, I don't have a unicorn on my vanity, so why in the bloody hell would I have a glass cylinder that isn't at all cyclopean in any way? And there was still, and I looked up at them and I was like, I don't know what I'd do with it. I went to set it down thinking that was the end of the conversation, and I was mistaken. I did not know that eye contact was consent to. So this person's like, well, you could put shiny things in it. They were like beads, but they were like plastic and glass, and they looked like little gumdrops. And you could fill it with this, you see, and put it in your window. And I was like, I don't have a window. Wouldn't you know? I live in a pit. She's like, well, you can put it in your pit to decorate it. We'll add some color to the pit. So I didn't buy the cylinder, but I bought 3 dish sets and a sofa that I promised I would come back for. Of course, I paid for it first. So if you're looking for dishware, it's not particularly nice dishware. It is. I'm almost positive it came from a Costco, but. This would be a real handy time for somebody to be behind my shower curtain. But according to the space giraffe, there is not.